Okay, the Troyer Memorial Library was donated to the town of LaFountain in 1972 by Mr. Chester Troyer. He was the world's corn king. He showed winning corn 4 different years at the International Grain Show, which made him the title of World's Corn King. 1920, 1927, in the 30s, and in the 40s. These pictures right here show Mr. Troyer building the house in here in LaFountain that he planned on making it into a library. He originally lived out southwest of LaFountain. His farm was on Meta-Sinai Indian Village site, close to the Troyer Bridge, and he started raising seed corn there because it was good land along the Mississinewa River, and his farm and building sat right next to Josina Creek, which dumped into the Mississinewa, and it was good farmland for corn. This is his house and the seed house down by the Mississinewa River. These pictures here are of when he first started raising hybrid seed corn. That's how he became famous with the hybrid seed corn. He graduated from high school when he was 16 years old, and he taught school in one of the district schools, the small schools, for 2 years, and then he decided to go into Marion Normal College, and he went there for a couple years. Took a lot of science. He was interested in math and science, and that helped him in the years later when he started breeding corn and getting into genetics of corn. He did teach school at LaFountain for a couple years, and he was principal there for 3 years. At the time, he decided that he wanted to go back into farming. He had grown up on the farm, and he had helped his dad sort corn and sort grains of corn, get the good germ corn separated from the bad, and he had done that for so many years that he had a love of corn and he wanted to get back into it. So he quit teaching in 1908, I believe it was, and went back to farming. His wife was one of his pupils, and they married and moved to the farm, and he quit teaching. He wanted to give the town the library because he wanted children here in the community to have the opportunity to read and to have the opportunity to have books. And he started the library with his own collection of 6,000 books. And it has grown since. He died 3 years after he built the library. He built the house and lived there for a while. When the Mississinewa Reservoir came in and bought his farmland, that's when he came into LaFountain and built the house and changed it into a library then, right before he died. He had a family. He had several children, but they all died young in life, and he did have one son that lived to be 70-some years old, and he has 2 grandchildren. That's the only descendants that he has. The library since then, Mrs. Hazel Young was a former first grade teacher at LaFountain. He had her be his first librarian, and she knew a lot about children's books, and he had not had very many children's books, so he let her do the children's area and order all the children's books in. She was librarian until 1981, and that's when I took the job in 1981 and have been there ever since. He raised gladolias as a hobby, and he showed several championships of gladolias in Wabash when they used to have the gladolia show there, and they had a big festival and a parade, and people from all over came and showed their gladolias. We have remodeled twice in the library since I've been librarian, and we are remodeling again and making the garage into a children's area. And we will move all of our children's books out there and have our summer reading clubs and our story hours and things out in the children's area now. So we have grown quite a bit since he opened the library with 6,000 books. I have some memorabilia here that was his. This is his former seed corn sacks. He sold seed corn to many people in Ohio and Illinois both. And he said when he first started farming, he sold maybe 40 bushel the first couple years. And then it finally grew into 10,000 bushel a year that he sold.
Okay.
Many of the brands of seed corn now originated from Troyer seed back in the early, well, let's see, from 1910 on. Really, he first started selling it after the 1920 Grand Championship that he won. So it grew from then on.